he plays, he's healthy, Zion is going to be in that top 5 player in the NBA.
You take
Forget
LeBron
top
out?
10.
Why is Zion disconnected from the team anyway?
This is a pattern of behavior with Zion that we are seeing again and again. And look, I was his teammate. I can describe him as a detached teammate.
Chuck, you had a visceral reaction to this.
It looked like me and Shaq had a baby.
Come on, man. Y'all gotta do me like that.
All right, welcome, Kings and Queens, to another installment in our Contender Series brought to you by us, the educators. I am Oba, and I'm here with my brother.
What's good, everybody? Shabazz.
And we're going to be detailing a team that's near and dear to my heart, specifically because of one player, the New Orleans Pelicans and Zion Williams. Because, hey, generational players come around every generation.
Hey, this man right here has been raving about Zion since 10th grade.
Hey, to be honest, I noticed Zion, but I still, as a scout and unbiased person, knew that I had to see him play against other grown black men. And once I seen him one time in college, I knew it. That was it. So it's a beautiful thing to see a player like that because, once again, I'm 34 years old. I've seen LeBron. I've seen Kobe. I've seen the end of Jordan clearly as a young child.
Yup.
I've seen Shaq. I've seen Penny Hardaway. I've seen many great players. And a lot of these great generational players don't reach their full potential like LeBron.
100%.
It's a rare thing. Like, you see Embiid is generational, but he might not reach his full potential. Giannis is generational.
Yep.
Jokic is generational. So it's beautiful to see a player like Zion because 22 points his first year playing and 20 minutes a game.
That's crazy.
27 points a game for the full season that he finally played.
And that's when we see Zion play 60 games.
60 games. And shooting 60%. You know how many players in NBA history have scored over 25 points and had
60%.
Guess how many players?
2?
No. Well, 2, yeah. Zion and Shaq. That's it. So even when you see me salivating,
Nigga, you gay.
pause over a player like Zion is because
Major pause.
I know that there's a chance I will never see him again. Here's the other part. One is coming. See Victor Wembanyama. He's coming soon. So
Hey.
you're going to get a chance to see 2 players, if you're in this age range, that are generational. Last year they finished 36 and 46. They were 9th in the NBA Western Conference. The reason why this is interesting is because they started off the season 2 and like 15.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was
They were
terrible.
at the bottom of the NBA. They were in the possible running for Chet Holmgren and all these players that you saw that came out this past year.
Talking about firing the coach.
Everything.
He was going through it.
And this was without Zion playing.
Yep.
Now, the Pelicans finally got, because people don't realize that another key player in their team who was quiet, who's kind of like a mute, and Brandon Ingram didn't really talk much.
And that's something we cannot overlook. Something as simple as Brandon Ingram being a quiet player. You know, teams need somebody to be a vocal leader as well as they do somebody to lead on the court. So that's why Brandon Ingram being quiet as an individual, and this is not a knock on him, but just as teams in general need somebody to be that vocal leader in a lot of cases.
And that's where CJ McCollum comes in to balance it out. Because CJ McCollum is older. He's, I think, president of the Players Association.
Yep.
So he has great wisdom and leadership, and
Exactly.
you can tell like he's a great team player. Granted, despite my feelings about him playing with Dame Lillard and how their ceiling was very low, despite people saying, oh, they're good, they both average 22, 25, it's like you can't win with 2-6-1 guards.
That's clear.
But now he's on this team. This is the best team he's ever been on. And his leadership with Ingram's 20 points per game, those 2
100%.
players took
100%.
that team from almost being a top 3 pick team to playing against the Suns in a feisty first round series. And you're doing Herb Jones, who was a rookie last year,
Monster.
who was possibly, to me, I can't remember if he was on the All-NBA defense team, but he should have been.
I think he made the rookie team.
He made the rookie team for sure, but he should have been an All-NBA defensive player.
Yeah, that's clear.
And he should have possibly, well, maybe should have, because last year was a lot of great defenders in the NBA, but he should be in the future a possibly Defensive Player of the Year candidate just because of how good he is. Go watch his highlights.
And basketball heads, if you know Herb Jones, you know his impact.
It's
But I feel this
huge.
year with the Pelicans having that spotlight, or at least I'm expecting him to have that spotlight, Herb Jones will get his love this year.
Definitely, I agree 1,000%.
Like, you can't watch the Pelicans and not notice Herb Jones.
Go watch the Sun series. Remember, it was a 3-headed monster, and Ingram giving you 20
Yep.
and 25 and all around play. McCollum giving you a solid 18 and great leadership, and it's not like he's handling the ball all game, but he keeps the ball in a certain flow. And then you throw in Valanciunas, who was traded for Steven Adams, who's giving you 20 and 10, who's always been a monster in the paint. And he had 38 points at one point, shooting 8 or 9 threes in the game last year. Valanciunas.
Just makes the floor, it makes you
spaces
able to,
out.
Exactly.
Remember, Zion averaged 27 with Eric Bledsoe, Steven Adams on the court with him.
No spacing on the court whatsoever.
Zero. Every time you saw Zion in the paint, everybody was like right there. All his teammates were somewhere close.
Hey,
you feel me?
But that just shows you Zion's level of talent because he could do it with 15 people in the paint.
Like I said, I don't show respect unless respect is due, and Zion earns it. And because Zion didn't play last year, they did lose to the Suns in the first round, but to me, that showed the first chink in the Suns' armor last year.
And Herb Jones, he held Chris Paul to 0 points in one
0
game.
points in one game. Made Devin Booker's life hell. Devin Booker complained about, it's all-season basketball. Why y'all double teaming me? Yeah, he probably felt like he was getting double teamed by Herb Jones the way he's everywhere. In terms of additions, in terms of losses, the Pelicans didn't really lose anybody other than they lost Hart in the trade last year. They lost. It wasn't really that many players.
They lost to Tony Snell.
Tony Snell, he played.
He had one of the most legendary stat lines of all time. If you know, you know.
Sure. And they didn't really lose that much. And in terms of additions, they added a player in Dyson Daniels, rookie who came from G League Ignite from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically like a 6'8" Lonzo Ball. Go watch him play. He's part of the reason why I think Devontae Graham's going to have a hard time getting on the court because Alvarado already plays great defense.
Yep.
Herb Jones, Zion. In fact, Zion, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum all can handle the ball a little bit. So now you don't really need Graham on the court that much unless he's hot shooting.
Hey, and that's real. And we know Alvarado's been working on his shooting.
Exactly.
And Graham, who was a quote-unquote shooter, shot about 30% last year.
Which is disgusting for a player who only can shoot.
Quote-unquote.
So that's why it's kind of like, to be honest, I think they should trade him or let him go. Because Dyson Daniels is going to be like a third point guard on their team. And because of his defense and his size, a lot of times, me as a coach, and Willie Green's a great coach, former player, mostly a backup role player for most of his career, played about 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Willie Green did a great job with this team. That's the other aspect. And Willie Green, and I can't remember his name, the general manager that was
Griffin, the Cavs manager. 100%.
and
Huge.
Trajan Langdon are great GMs. Like, I don't agree with the Lonzo Ball trade and the Drew Holiday trade. Those things blew me. If I was Zion, I would want to trade too. That's the perfect players to play with him.
100%.
But David Griffin definitely made up for it. The key thing, though, is that the only way they're going to be that great team that he thinks they can be is if Zion, who I consider addition this year because he didn't play all last year, if Zion plays, they become. I know some people are like, what the hell? This is supposed to be a contenders list. Why the hell the Pelicans on there? They lost in the first round. They were barely. If you understand basketball, and if you can kind of project basketball with knowledge and context, you add a player like Zion to a team like this with a full year of healthiness and chemistry with a good coach, good general manager, they're going to shock a lot of people who are not aware. So in terms of our projections for this year, I still give the Pelicans a low chance of winning, realistically, because they just need to have chemistry. They need another year of playing. But unless Zion goes on some Jordan shit and everybody stays healthy, you got Ingram giving you 25, McCollum giving you 18. You got a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. You got 20 and 10 in the paint with Valanciunas, and you throw 25. And keep in mind, Zion has to play like Duke Zion.
Exactly.
Not even this 27 points a game Zion that played, because that year he was like a point forward.
Yeah, where he's dribbling all.
We don't need that. Zion from Duke, the one that was getting blocks. Go watch Zion defensive highlights in college, and you're gonna see what I'm saying.
I mean, swatting straight. He's coming from the free throw line to the 3-point line.
Steals, all his instincts was just crazy. So if you get that Zion, same thing with Embiid. Less is more. If Zion just brings his sheer nature and aggressiveness without having to have the ball too much, everybody else flows a little bit better, and this team can get in there. But I'll put their chances at like, they're probably not going to have a good chance. They're probably down there with the worst teams in our list, in the contenders list. But other than that, the key thing is Zion staying healthy. In terms of future projections, I think this team can win about 3 or 4 championships if Zion stays healthy and they stay together.
Hey, 100%, because when you look at the levels of, elite players in the league right now, Zion, you could argue if he plays a full year, you could argue him as a top 10 player.
Hey.
And most of the players in the top 10 right now are pretty, they're nearing the end of their career.
Hey, I'm going to give you a hot take right here. If Zion's healthy this year and plays well, Giannis and Luka are the only 2 players who I would say, Embiid and Jokic, they're good, they're great, elite, generational.
Yep.
But Zion's somewhere in that 4. I said it. If he plays healthy, he's healthy, Zion is going to be in that top 5 player in the NBA.
You taking LeBron out?
Hey, bro.
It's tough.
If Zion plays defense like he did in Duke, yes. Yes, LeBron going to have to scoot down.
Hey, we're going to see how it plays out.
And LeBron 37.
That's another thing.
He's still, you know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted.
LeBron at number 6 at 37, props to you, my brother.
You got 5 generational players in the league right now.
Yeah.
A lot of times in NBA history, you might get 2 or 3. You got 5. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 6. KD and LeBron, just by default of age, they're like 7. And Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
They're the ones, and AD. Those 4, because of injuries, because of age, they're kind of going down. And Zion's the one that people say Tatum, top. No, if Zion's healthy, he's in top 5. As you can see with the Pelicans, Zion had to humble himself to change his habits a lot earlier in life as a 21-year-old young man. He had to change a lot of things in terms of eating habits, probably sleep patterns. And one thing I strive to young men is that your youth years in your early 20s is a time to set the foundation. Hopefully you have parents that set you up right. A lot of times we don't have those cases here throughout the world, especially in America. But in the case where you kind of get yourself together by 17, 18, from 19 through 24 is where you can build a foundation to have a successful career. So I pray that Zion takes care of himself now so that he has a long-lasting career, because he can truly be one of the greatest players we've ever seen in the NBA. That's his ceiling.
Preach.
So other than that, take care of yourself, stay on your grind, stay focused. Don't wait till you get later in life to start making changes. Make sure everybody eats around you, B.
Everybody eats, B.